Hello everyone, I am Tacet, and today I'm going to be going over the difficulty settings in Gems of War. They can be accessed just by clicking this button over here. The main reason you may want to make some of your battles harder is as you make it harder and harder, you will start to get more and more bonuses at the expense of having a higher difficulty on the stats of the enemies that you are facing. As you can see on normal, it just has none for all of them. Then as we go to hard, it has a slight increase to monsters as we get a slight bonus for troops, and it just keeps going up from there. The most useful ones normally are the normal, hard, and Warlord 3 difficulty. You unlock the Warlord 3 difficulty as early as level 100, which we just ended up facing recently. As far as where these bonuses work, they occur as a result of any kind of battle. So if you do questing, if you do PvP, if you do challenges, any of that kind of stuff, it'll trigger. It will not trigger for things like guild tasks, any kind of other various rewards, treasure maps, all of those kind of things, it will not trigger for. So today I'm going to be going over basically every single area where you can use it, and essentially the difficulty that you should be using when you do these areas. So first off, let's go with PvP and casual PvP. One thing to note is that difficulty has absolutely no effect on PvP. Let me just make sure we're on Warlord 3. Yes. As you can see right here, if we scout out this person, you'll see that this person's stats are all at the standard amount that they should be. But if we go over to casual, it will have all of the stats raised based on the Warlord 3 difficulty. As you can see with this Dragon Soul, this is obviously not even a remotely close Dragon Soul with that 50%. It has over 100 and everything, and that's between the 50% it was getting from the event as well as on top of the huge bonus that it's getting, the 100% bonus from the Warlord 3 difficulty. But as far as difficulties for these, ranked doesn't have any, so you never need to worry about what your difficulty is. As far as casual, you would want to do these on Warlord 3 with something like a Great Maul if you happen to have, or on hard, but casual in general, you tend to not really do. Ranked PvP is almost always better to do, unless you just wanted easier battles in general. And then if you're using higher difficulties anyways, then you might as well just be doing PvP. So there really isn't much need to do anything PvP related as far as difficulty. You're better off just doing it in normal PvP where difficulty doesn't even apply. So next up is the arena. Arena, you'll definitely want to use difficulties on. They give a lot of rewards. The main two that will be raised, or basically the only two, are the gold and the souls that you will gain from every single battle. Optimally, you will want to do hard difficulty pretty much every single time you do arena. Unless you find that your draft is really, really weak, you'll want to try doing hard every single time. This will give you 25% additional souls, and that will indeed raise this 1,200 or whatever you happen to get as far as the amount of wins. So do keep that in mind. You can do Warlord 1 if you feel like you've got a really, really good team, but anything above Warlord 1 difficulty is not worth it in Arena. Next up is the challenges. Challenges, you get a little bit of souls at the end of every single one of these. The fifth one gives 100 little soul casket thing, and all 5 of them are raised by the difficulty that you have set. As you can see, all of his troops are raised quite a bit from the Warlord 3 difficulty that we have enabled. Doing this will give us a additional 100% souls on top of that, so we're essentially getting an additional 100 souls every single battle. If you're wondering why I haven't really been questing or doing challenges at all in this account, this is mainly why. I've been waiting until I have unlocked the Warlord 3 difficulty, because Warlord 3 difficulty is used in a lot of different farming methods in this game, and some of them, like these challenges, are not repeatable once you complete them. Well, they are repeatable as in you can reface them if you want, but they aren't repeatable in the aspect that you only get these caskets once per the time that you beat them. So you get one every single one of those stars, and then if you keep repeating it on the final star, you don't keep getting the 100th casket, and unfortunately it just ends from there. So you can essentially only do every single challenge once for its fullest reward. So it's normally best to save it for when you can actually defeat them on Warlord 2 or ideally Warlord 3. Warlord 4 you don't really need for challenges or for most everything in this game. You never really use Warlord 4. Warlord 4 is more for just having fun. The main problem with Warlord 4 is it's actually twice as hard, or it does a whole extra 100% compared to Warlord 3, yet only gives about 25% extra reward to everything. So it's definitely not worth it to ever do Warlord 4. Once you unlock Warlord 3 at level 100, you're pretty much good to go as far as raising difficulty is concerned. But we'll just clear out this battle real quick. It shouldn't take too long. All we have to do is just get down a Dragon Soul. Didn't get too bad, or we got a little bit of a bad board starting out there. But if we can just get Kristarnix up one more time, Dragon Soul, that'll be the match right there. We'll throw that down as long as that hits enough skull. That Dragon Soul alone will be enough. This is also going to be raising the amount of souls that we get from battle by 100%. One other thing to note is I did switch my armor to Celestial armor, so we are getting 100% extra souls from that as well. So you can see we get 107 right there. But we also get this casket, which is now 315. Normally that casket would only be 100, but as you can see, my multiplier is right now 300 or 3.15, which instead of giving 100 gave us the 315 that you just saw right there. And this is being caused from 15 from the guild, a ×1 from our Celestial armor that we have set. You can buy that for 500 gems. You can also use the Death Knight armor if you happen to have bought it for $50, but of course if you're doing free to play, just do Celestial armor. And the other 100%, of course, is from the difficulty, which is the whole reason why we were doing Warlord 3. If we did Warlord 2, it would have been 75%, Warlord 1, and of course, it just keeps going up 25% for every single one. And that's mainly why we're doing Warlord 3. And next up, what do we have next? We need to go do, oh yes, questing. That's the other reason. Questing is actually one that you can save to Warlord 4 if you really want to. And on this particular account, I likely will wait to Warlord 4. But one weird thing about questing is questing, like when you normally just do these quests, if you just go into a quest line thing and then you go do these battles right here, you'd want to do them on the hard difficulty. A lot of things you tend to just do on the hard difficulty simply because it gives that extra 25% souls without really giving you any kind of extra difficulty. It gives 10%, but that's really, really small compared to just nothing. So one thing that you can do is just set your difficulty to the highest possible setting, and whenever you claim the reward from questing, you'll do all the questings on hard or normal if you want to go through them really quick. But for the reward, you'll want to set it to the highest you can possibly do. I'm not quite sure if this is a glitch or what, but it has been in the game ever since difficulties were added, so not quite sure. But it actually does indeed boost the reward that you get at the end of this. It boosts the amount of gold that you get and the amount of EXP that you get. As you saw right there, I probably should have switched to Dragon Armor, but we got a 2.25 that normally gives 100 gold, but it gave us a little bit more because of that. And while it wasn't that easy to tell, it also gave us more EXP based on our difficulty and the armor that we had set. So that's another thing that you can kind of do at the end of every single quest. You can just do it on whatever difficulty, normal, hard, or well, you can even do it hard if you want, but you really don't need to. And then you can just, for when you claim the reward, set it up to something higher. And now there is one other area I believe I didn't really say, and that is Explore. What should you be exploring with whenever you go towards the Explore mode? As far as Explore is concerned, you would normally want to do this on normal or hard at the absolute highest. The main reason for this is difficulty has absolutely no effect on the rarity of your trait stones. The only thing that has effect on the rarity of your trait stones is if you are or are not battling in Explore. If you are battling in Explore, then your trait stones have a slightly higher rate based on these. 2 times for Runics, 3 times for Arcanes and Celestials. If you're battling everywhere else, it's just the normal rate. And difficulty has absolutely no effect regardless of if you're on the normal rate or on the Explorer. It's just based on if you're in Explorer or just normal. So just keeping that in mind. So as far as difficulty for this, you'd either just want to set it down to normal because this would give you the quickest possible wins, or if you wanted to gain some souls as doing it, you would want to switch over to the hard difficulty. Because that would give you the 25% extra souls. Like for example, if we were using Valkyrie or Dragon Soul or anything really that could gain souls, we'd be getting a little bit extra souls while barely having any extra difficulty. But we wouldn't want to go higher than that because that's not going to give us more Celestial, or it won't give us more trait stones. It'll actually just reduce the amount of trait stones because it's going to take us longer to win every single battle. So as a quick rundown, just to go over every single area where you use difficulty, PvP, if loading screens will go. PvP, it does not apply. Casual, you really don't need to do it, but if you do, you'd want to do it on Warlord 3 with something like a Great Maul or something else that can take the enemy stats from them. For challenges, you'll want to wait until you have Warlord 3 and do them on Warlord 3. Arena, you will want to do Arena on the hard difficulty and just change it based on how good or bad your team. Never do it higher than Warlord 1 because it'll just take way too much time and you'll most likely lose under many circumstances. And for Explore, you'd want to do this on normal or hard difficulty. Hard if you're farming souls, and normal if you're just doing it for trait stones. But anyways, that will wrap it up for this video. If you guys have any other questions about difficulties or anything in general with Gems of War, feel free to leave it in the comment section below. I hope that informed you on everything with the difficulty settings. They are pretty straightforward for the most part, but a lot of people tend to not really use them that much because, of course, they do make battles take a little bit longer, but like I mentioned in this video, there's a lot of areas where you can tweak them slightly and it'll pay out more than the time that it's actually taking you in extra time. So it is worth using difficulties occasionally. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching and have a wonderful day.